Belachara offers seniors beautiful apartment living. It's a special, secure place to belong, providing choice, freedom and professional care. Each spacious apartment comes with an ensuite, veranda, security and on-call nurses. Entertain your guests in the elegantly appointed shared spaces. Our vibrant activities program will keep your mind and body active. Belachara welcomes new residents. Call us today on 5202 5300 for a personal tour.
Welcome back to News Geelong. Halcyon days of sunshine, magnificent ocean views, good company with food and drink to match have reappeared with the renaissance of the Aries Inlet Hotel. Who else to offer expert views and advice than Ian Nichols?
This is the Aries Inlet pub on the Surf Coast Highway. It could well have been a pub with no beer, and in fact was for a while, but then the townspeople came in and saved it. It's now a community venue and it's pumping, especially over the Christmas New Year period. We're speaking with Phil Johnson, one of the leading lights behind the revival of the Aries pub. Well, Phil, the pub closed in March of 2011 and nobody knew at that time if it had a future.
No, it had a pretty uncertain future at that stage, so it closed down, and there were a couple of options, two of which were just a residential development or a caravan park. So yeah, its future was very uncertain for a while.
But people power is amazing at times. It can make things happen, and in this case you have made it happen. It's just a beautiful venue again.
It is, yeah. We've really brought it back to life. So it's yeah, it was a bunch of 9 of us who probably had a little too much to drink one night and decided we should buy a pub, and and somehow managed to put the deal together and pull it off, and yeah, now here we are. We're back up and running, and I think it's an important community asset that provides value to everyone in town, which is good.
Well, that's right. Apart from the fact that you do meals and serve alcohol, you also supply a wonderful venue for community events.
We do. We've opened up our back room, so it's now able to do different events. So, you know, we've done some good community events. We had a great Red Cross jazz lunch here, which the local Red Cross girls put together. We've had a literary festival, which the local bookshop put on. And it's a key part of the venue for the open mic festival, which we have every year in Aries. Every year in March, so middle of March, we have the open mic festival, and we have a big stage out the front of the pub, and we use the back room as a stage, and there's another 7-8 stages around town. So it's a key part of that festival as well, which would have been very difficult to hold without the pub. So yeah, and as well as that, we've done the Travelling International Comedy Festival. They did a gig down here, which was good, and we play live music every Saturday. We have someone play here in the bar every Saturday. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, pubs get a bad rap, but I think in reality, in a small town, they're a very important part of the fabric of a town as a meeting place and an eating place, and then this time of year and holiday times, it's chockers every night. So it's an important place for families to come and get together and eat and enjoy part of their holiday.
Well, I think it's no secret you do more than 500 meals over this time of the year with so many visitors. We
do, yeah. So sort of this Boxing Day through January, yeah, every night is pretty busy. Yeah, so it's up to 550 meals, which hurts on some nights, but it's an important part of the longevity of the business and the viability of the business. So yeah.
Just with that, you've also tried to supply local food and provide a taste of the Otways, a taste of the coast, not only with the food, but you don't bow to the big breweries either. It's all more or less craft and boutique beers.
Largely, yeah. We're trying to, and that's something we want to grow on. But yeah, we've Southern Bay Brewing in Geelong brew our draft beer, and the guys down at Otway Estate at Prickly Moses do some beers for us, and we've got some of the local wineries on board, so Lura Park and some of those guys, Scotchman's Hill, have helped us out with wines, and the next step is to try and access some more local food, which is a little bit harder to do logistically, but that's where we want to go.
Well, you've done a mighty job, along with Tim, of course, who is hands-on as well.
Yeah, well, no, it's been a good partnership, because I've sort of got more of the hotel side of the business, whereas Tim's a builder, so he's built the joint, really. He's recreated it with the help of the local tradies. Everything down to even building some of the tables and redoing the bar and redoing the kitchen, which we've done a couple of times now, and So yeah, we're chipping away at making it a better place to be.
Well, Tim Wood and Phil Johnson, you deserve to be congratulated. You've saved the Aries pub, an iconic building here on the Surf Coast, and may have a very long life.
Oh, I think it will. I think it will. It's had a long life already. It's been here since 1904, so hopefully it can be here for another 100 years plus.
At the community hub we call the Aries pub, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Nico. Some fellows get all the good jobs. The devastating bushfires we've been witnessing this past week in and around Australia continue to remind us here in Geelong and around the Surf Coast of our vulnerability. Ian Nichols spoke with Surf Coast Mayor Libby Coker regarding fire-safe havens on the Surf Coast.
Well, there's no doubt the bushfires in Tasmania this week have brought home the danger of what can happen in rural areas, particularly heavily treed areas with bushfires, particularly down on the Surf Coast near Geelong, around this area, Anglesea, Aries Inlet. We know that fires have been through here before, and you need to have a plan. And that's why we're talking with the Mayor of the Surf Coast Shire, Libby Coker, about safe havens, or as they are sometimes known, places of last resort.
We will have I think a hot summer this year. We have just named our 10th neighbourhood safer place in Moriac in Newling Reserve. So we now have 10 across our shire in our in the hotspot townships. Now we have Janjuk and Belbrae, Anglesea, Aries Inlet, Lorne, and Moriac and Deans Marsh. So we have quite a number of townships that are hotspots, high-risk areas for fire. So we encourage people to leave early on a code red day, but if you are caught out, there are neighbourhood safer places you can go to. They are places of last resort, so facilities are very sparse on the ground in these areas, but they've been selected by the CFA because they are cleared areas that will give you some safety from fire, and it also means we have prepared them for in terms of vegetation so that we have reduced fuel load in those areas.
Well, you've shown some vision here and taken the lead, because we just don't want a repeat of what happened back in the Kinglake region some time ago now, but we'll never forget that.
Yes, look, that was a tragedy. We've also had Ash Wednesday in our region in the early 80s, so we do encourage people to plan ahead, to actually have a fire plan and to consider when they leave, preferably before a fire approaches, but also on those very hot code red days, to actually be aware of listening to the media, to the radio, have your phone nearby. In the case of Lorne, we have a siren that's been introduced, a fire siren that'll be will be sounded in the case of fire approaching. So that is a new initiative for that township. But in all towns, visitors are also encouraged to take care, and we work with our accommodation providers to keep our visitors informed about risk of fire.
So people, particularly holidaying on the Surf Coast, should take a note of those little townships that now have safe places the minute they arrive, perhaps for their holiday over the Christmas New Year period. Make that one of their priorities, to know where to go. Yes,
and you can look at the Surf Coast website. Those sites are listed and it explains to exactly where they are. So we would encourage visitors and residents alike to make themselves aware of our 10 neighbourhood safer places and to ensure that they're prepared in case of fire.
Well, let's hope there are not too many code red days during the next 3 months, and we all have a lovely introduction to the new year.
Yes, we hope that everyone is safe and enjoys the summer on our beautiful coastline and our hinterland, and that we just do stay prepared for fire risk. Have a look at the website. Always have a listen to radio on hot days.
In a bushfire-prone area of the Surf Coast, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian and Libby. Not only timely, but continued communication on a very important and realistic subject for us all. So please take note. This is News Geelong as we head to a break, with a reminder that you can find us on Twitter at NewsGeelong31 and on Facebook, www.facebook.com/NewsGeelong. We'll return with this after this message.